Just take a moment and feel your feet, bend your knees, feel the weight into your feet. Notice if you're weighting in one foot more than the other. Inhale, straighten, exhale, bend. Starting with the legs and feet. Do a ha. Inhale, straighten, and if you like, you can pull up on the kneecaps as you straighten. If that feels good, you can also lift the toes, and then exhale, relax. Exhaling from the bottom up, pelvic floor up. Inhale from the top down, from the chest to the belly. Exhale from the pelvic floor to the chest. Adding some thoracic movement. Inhale, arms at the side, thumbs back. If this feels good, I will be bringing a little bit of shoulder work in today. And exhale, bend the knees and link to the area of the body we're focusing on today, right at the belly button. This is called the nabi point, or third chakra. Inhale, opening. And this color of this chakra is yellow, like the sun. And it said we have a fire burning in there, Jatra Agni, like a campfire. And as we inhale, that fire expands. As we exhale, it becomes very contained. So you could visualize that fanning of the fire if you want to work with your digestion today a bit. It's called the Manipuraka, this third chakra, seat of many jewels, all the organs of digestion in this area. And on the other side of this, we find our lower back. Now have a look at your knees perhaps when you bend and see that they're tracking around your second toes. So it can be helpful to visualize you're riding a horse and you're creating a little space for that horse if you've ever ridden one. I haven't, but I can imagine that. And then adding thoracic movement, maybe inhale, lifting the chest, and exhale, looking slightly down. Start lifting your arms a little higher if you like, thumbs back on the inhale and exhale. Hands maybe to that Surya chakra, the sun chakra, right at the stomach. Making that ha sound if you like, and then going a little higher if you like to the heart. You can do the ha or the hum, the Brahmari. You can visualize the sun shining at the heart if you like. As you inhale, you can feel the rays of light all directions, expanding. Exhale, drawing that light towards the center of you. You can keep that going with sound or without sound. Adding Om if you like. Om. Arms any height that feels good. Try to connect the exhale, the drawing in of the belly, and the sound. Hands at the heart. And then put one hand on the belly button area or lower belly, and one hand at the heart. Just feel that connection between the heart, the gut, and perhaps the head. links to three really important areas of the nervous system. So we've got receptors, serotonin receptors in each of these places, which help us experience happiness and joy in a very human way. And can we go beyond that through our practice to a happiness that is beyond this body-mind experience? And release the hands down. So today focusing on the lower back, and we will go into the upper back a little bit as well. You're going to inhale, bring your arms up, and we're just going to play with the movements of the spine. Oh, somebody's phone. Don't think it's mine. Inhale, coming up and arching the spine, and just notice how that feels in your back. And then exhale, bring your hands through the center, bend your knees and round your spine and feel how that is with your back. Which one does your back prefer? Are you naturally in this inhale position, or are you more naturally in this exhale position? Which one feels better for your back? Just notice the articulation of the spine as you inhale, the gradual opening, and the exhale, the gradual centering, containing. And in life, we're always moving in these two directions, either out into the world or in towards the self. Adding Ujjayi Pranayama if you like. Inhale and exhale that ha sound, closing the mouth, constricting the throat, breathing through the nose if you can. Audible to yourself. Long, subtle, smooth breathing. Pause between inhale and exhale, and clarified with one of my students this week, the speed of your movement, it should be individual. It goes with your breath today, and that will be different each day. So don't force the breath. So when you force the breath, you'll actually go into a stress response. So just work with your breath, your speed. And then perhaps stay in that back arch. Now, as you do that, can you draw the belly, the lower belly in a little bit as you exhale to create a bit more connection so you're not compressing the lower back? And then breathe more into the chest to the belly as you inhale. If you can, as you exhale, draw the belly in more, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Notice how your back is affected by that connection of the core. And then inhale, upper back, middle back, lower back. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. You might also want to think about inhale, upper chest, lower chest, full belly expanding. And one more. And release. And just a reminder, if there are shoulder injuries, any of these arm movements, feel free to modify. You can keep your arms lower. So let's do some side bends. These are also really good for the lower back. Inhale, coming up. So side bends are good for the whole side body, including into the lower back. So to focus more on the lower back, really stick the hip out as we did last week, and feel the side stretching. Inhale, arms up. Now you can modify the arms by bending the elbows. And as you exhale, really draw the belly in. Now try, I can see on the screen some of you rotating the shoulder forward. So try to have the shoulders aligned. Inhale, center, exhale, side. You might find one side a little harder to keep the shoulders aligned. So just notice that tightness that you might have on that side all the way down the chain. And then just maybe staying on one side. Start with your easier side. And maybe holding the hands together or holding the top wrist. Getting a bit more. And try to breathe. If the breath becomes short or ragged, rough, that's biofeedback from your nervous system that you've gone too far. Inhale, center, exhale, other side. Again, trying to align the shoulders. So today we're going to work a lot with side bends and rotated twists to work on the side body and rotate. And we're going to work with the lower back that way. So bring your feet apart. Of course, we'll do forward bends in between. And we're going to just start with a easy Utthita Trikonasana, triangle. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, come to your side. Inhale, center. Exhale, side. And I want you to imagine that you're moving on an axis point right at the belly button. So it's a pivot point. You're pivoting like a teeter-totter, side to side. And in yoga, we call this samana, which means balance. And this is the energy of digestion, samana vayu. And it's said to create balance in the digestive system. And we know physiologically, the small intestine has that pendulum movement back and forth, just like this. So somehow the yogis knew that. This also creates balance in the nervous system through the bilateral movement and through the rhythmic movement. And when you feel complete, just coming back to the center, we're going to take it up a notch. So again, if you've got arm stuff going on, you can just remove that top arm because that's quite a bit of weight. You can just have the hand on your hip or on your lower back. So turning the one of the feet out and the other one in. So start on your easy side. You'll naturally go to your easy side first usually. Inhale, arms coming to your place, palms down if that works for you. And exhale, you're going to go along the side. You're keeping that front knee straight if you can, Utthita Trikonasana, finding your place. Now keep your shoulders aligned like we did in the Tadasana side bend. So keep those shoulders aligned. Don't go lower than that. And look at your foot that you're going towards. Make sure it's right angles to your other foot. Your other foot can be either square or angled in. Inhale, coming up, we're just going to go up and down. Now that you have the pose, inhale here, exhale, slide along that imaginary wall behind you. You might be starting to feel this into the hip. The quadratus lumborum, the QL, this area can get very tight with lower back stuff. You might be feeling that right about now. And each time maybe you're going a little lower. If it's too much, don't go down as low, or you can use a chair to come to. Draw the belly in as you exhale so you've got connection in your core. And it's funny, every day is different. You know, some days we feel very connected down there, and other days it's like, oh, what's happening? Just notice if each time you go a little further, keeping your shoulders aligned, creating that perfect triangle, and keeping the knee tracking around the second toe, as long as it's not hurting your knee, and come to the center and relax. Whew, that's quite a bit of work. Turning the other side, setting up your feet first. So I angle both feet in, but that back foot you can have at a right angle to your front. If you like heel to heel alignment, or heel to arch, or even wider laterally. So inhale, finding your arms up at shoulder height, palms down. And imagine that wall behind you as you start to slide along that wall, and you can pull up on the kneecap, or you can keep it soft, bending the knee to protect the knee if you've got a knee issue, which some of you do today. Inhale up and exhale down. Do this in your own time. For those of you who do not have neck issues, you might be able to look up. That hurts my neck, so I will not be showing that. You can also look down if it hurts your neck to look center. So this is also a core exercise. You're moving away from the center, and this works with strengthening this whole area, working the core, or what we call mula bandha, root lock, from the pelvic floor to the belly button. Strengthening this area physically and energetically helps our lower back, helps our sense of groundedness, embodiment, and notice if one side is easier than the other. I'm like, oh, this side's a lot easier for me today. And notice if there's a connection between this QL, this great part right here I'm feeling, and any pain in the lower back or ability to move. And coming up, exhale, release. Just take a minute to rest. Let's just do a forward bend, feet in a different direction to give a break. Good, I'm getting feedback from Walter today, who's in class, so he's giving me some hints. Inhale, arms coming up. And exhale, the arms can go front or side as you come forward. And I want you to round the spine. So to do that safely, I want you to bend the knees, as we're always taught to bend the knees when we bend forward. Same in yoga. But I actually want you to round the spine so that you're stretching the lower back. I want you to round. I know we usually don't say that in yoga, but if you do it with core engagement and bent knees, it is safe. And inhale. To take the pressure off, I want you to bring the arms to the sides, palms down, maybe straighten the legs. Come up now with a very long back, so an extended spine. And I'm going to do this with hands in prayer position as I come forward. Bend the knees, round the spine like you're doing a cat-cow stretch, so that cat stretch, really rounding, coming forward. And inhale, coming up, you're arching the spine. So my teachers in India, their forward bend is actually coming forward, not hinging at the hips, but actually the hinge point is the belly button. So rounding the spine. And inhale, extending the spine. These are the two movements. low back and upper back. Just keep working on that as you exhale. Really bend your knees so you can safely round the spine. Bending from the belly button area. And inhale, lengthening. This is where you hinge from the hips. You're hinging from the hips and coming up with a nice long back. It took me a long time to find that with my teachers in Chennai, because in the West, we're always hinging from the hips as we go up and down. And that's for safety. If your legs are straight, that is a very good cue. Completely understand why it's taught that way. But if you do it with bent knees and in core engagement, you can safely move the spine in these two directions. We're just going to do one more, and then we're going to stay at the bottom. I'm just going to move back a bit so you can see me a little bit better. So you're going to come forward. Now, you could have your hands on a chair or on a balcony or on a countertop to do this. If this is too much for you, for any reason, blood pressure or eye problems or just flexibility, hands on the floor in front of you somewhere, and it can maybe come up onto the fingertips. You could also use blocks. Inhale, arch the spine up a bit, maybe straighten the legs, and exhale, keep that length of the lower back on the thighs as you bend the knees, get the belly on the thighs and release neck and shoulders, maybe hands going towards the little toe side of the feet. Inhale, arching up. I bring my hands forward. You can leave your hands stable also as you do this. Exhale, I'll show that. When you bring your hands back, you will release a bit more. Just keep that little movement going. Stiti, this is called. Have a look at your feet. Make sure the little toe side of your feet is parallel, unless you know your knees are more comfortable with the different position of the feet. Knees tracking over second toes, that's more important. That trumps the position of the feet, that classical parallel position. Okay, we're going to come a little higher now. We're going to come halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. We're going to start with the hands on the lower back, palms up to make this easier. Inhale. Make that wave halfway up and arch the spine as you come halfway up, maybe straightening the legs. And exhale, coming down, bend the knees, release neck and shoulders. Inhale, hinging from the hips, arching the spine, maybe lifting even the head to get into the upper back as well. And exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, bend the knees. If you want to make this harder, you can add more weight by bringing the arms to the sides, palms down as you inhale. And exhale, fold your arms as you come forward. Holding opposite elbows. Inhale. Find your wings, so to speak. And exhale. That's too much weight. Go back to the first position with hands on the lower back. Harder still, holding opposite elbows. Inhale, arms in line with the ears, come halfway up. This is a back strengthener. Exhale, forward. Inhale, halfway up. Again, if this is too much, go back to one of the earlier versions. Pick your medicine appropriate for you today. Work at about 70 to 80% of your capacity. Your breath will tell you if you've gone too far. It will get short. Your mind might start to race. Those are all indications that you've gone too far. Now stay in your forward bend and rest. Hands anywhere you like, classically beside your little toes. I often like to hold my heels or calves, or you can have your hands forward. feel the decompression of your lower back. So you might want to take your ribs, the bottom of your ribs, and bring them forward along your thighs. You lengthen the lower back more. It's called Uttanasana. When you're ready, gradually coming up. After staying in a pose, I always walk up gingerly. Bring the hands to the thighs, bend the knees, take a break, exhale, inhale, coming up to standing. You might be dizzy. And find your samastiti, even standing. Just recalibrate. Okay, so we're going to go into the next movement of the spine. We're going to start rotating the spine. So I'm going to start this in a very simple way, and then I invite you to really pay attention to what is your medicine today. So notice the breath, notice the mind. If you feel that it is making your breath rough and short, that's a really good indication that you've gone too far. Back off, or your mind starts racing and starts worrying that you'll pay for this later. That's also a bad sign. Inhale, arms to your sides, palms facing down. As you exhale, rotate to your easy side. You'll just naturally do that. This is the side when you're driving your car or your bicycle that you'll naturally always want to turn to, not the other side. Inhale, center, and exhale, we'll go to the other side. Now, if you can, try to keep your hips facing forward as you do this, so that you're working on rotating the upper back. So we're starting here with the upper back, but we're going to go into the lower back soon. So this one is also for my friends with shoulder stuff going on. This might be a great resource for you, this exercise. It's really working with the upper back, neck and shoulders. And I'm preparing the upper back to move lower soon. I was prepping for this yesterday in my practice, which I do usually the day before I teach you guys. Having a lot of fun. Rotating my spine in all sorts of ways. Okay, now if that's feeling really comfortable, to the next step. So this is also a great resource for the nervous system, bilateral movement, bilateral stimulation. You're going to see if you can rotate down a little bit. So I've got my opposite hand on my thigh, my same arm as shoulder and leg I'm rotating towards on my lower back. Inhale, center, and exhale, in that crossover. Now, what I want you to try to do when you get to your full rotation, I want you to align your shoulders. You'll notice this is starting to go down the spine a little bit. Notice the easy side versus the hard one. If you have scoliosis, don't push it. You don't want to push that rotation, any of us. You don't want to push any alignment. Just want it to naturally open up. Now you can bend that knee that you're moving towards to give you more space as well. And you could have a chair or blocks on either side that you go towards as well. Now if that's feeling really comfortable, go down further, and this is going to go into the lower back, so you can go towards your shin and your calf. You might, if you're like me, you might find it a lot easier if your upper back is a lot more constricted than your lower, which by nature it actually is. The lower back moves a lot more than the upper back. And the full pose, Trikonasana Parivriti, rotated triangle, you're bringing that hand down towards the outside of the foot, and I'm keeping my hips aligned, de-rotating upper back and lower back as I come up. Go to your place. You can bend the knee and keep the leg straight. You don't have to go all the way down. Another variation is you can have a chair in front of you or a block and go to that place. So I'm just going to show that with an imaginary chair in front of me so I don't have to grab my chair in the middle of this. And that upper arm can be still bent, which is a lot easier. So play with all those variations, find which one works for you. And when you come out of it, inhale, head, neck, shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back. Exhale from the bottom up, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, chest rotates, neck, head rotate. So that's throughout the whole practice, you're exhaling from the bottom up and you're inhaling from the bottom down. And just finishing up. And release. And this one I also find to be a great stress buster. That's because we're bringing the head lower than the heart. And we're compressing this whole middle, changing the blood flow. Our heart responds to that by slowing down via the nervous system. Just notice you might feel a little calmer now. We're going to do a counter of a squat. So this is, I'm going to start really easy. So feet width apart. I'll show actually this way, I think. So inhale, arms at the side, and exhale, I want you to bend the knees. We've been doing this a lot for the hips as well. Bend the knees over those second toes, and imagine you're hugging a tree. So we're going to move towards full Utkatasana, but we're going to start with a half version. Inhale, expand, and exhale, contract. And as you do this, I want you to round the spine, round it. Decompress the back. So bring your back like you're hugging a tree. And bend your knees like you're skiing. If you're downhill skiing, you want to be sitting back, Utkatasana squat. So it's work. This is working for those of you with knee issues, this is strengthening the muscles around the knees. And we're also doing this as a counter pose to our twists, decompressing the spine. So round your upper back and your lower back and sit back as if you are skiing. So when I bend, my knees are not further forward than my toes. Okay, you can keep doing that, or we're going to take it up a notch. Some of you will not need this prop. I'm going to use a pillow because I need this for my ankles. My Achilles tendons are pretty short. So if you need a block or something to put on your heels to be able to squat more, you can do that. The other thing you can do is you can hold a rail or something like this. It's a great prop for squatting, which I do a lot in my own practice. So inhale, you're going to do that opening position, and exhale, you're going to sit down and see if you can go down a little bit further. Inhale, opening up, and exhale, coming down. If this is too hard on the knees, just go to the point that it doesn't hurt the knees. You might not need to put those high heels on. very good when you're on a heel or you've got high heels on. I'm able to squat amazingly well. So it really depends on your back. And flexibility in your ankles. And this is very strengthening for the legs, as you can probably feel. It's also very decompressing for the spine. So lower back is getting totally decompressed now. Feel free to do the halfway version we did earlier instead. This might not work for your knees. You can also do this with the buttocks at the wall. So another version is you can just do this at the wall like this. So just finishing up when you're ready. Notice how you feel. Your heart rate's probably up a little bit after that. Okay, so we're going to move into our next side bend and rotation series. Parshvakonasana. So turning one foot out, the other slightly in, or keep it at right angles, heel to heel alignment, or more or less. Bend that front knee over the ankles to the warrior two position. It's a martial arts position. And start on your easy side, whatever that is for you. You can assess that for a minute if you like. Let's find that stance, that warrior stance. So that's the beginning of the pose. Inhale, straighten, exhale, bend. It's also great for the knees, tracking at the knees over the second toe, keeping that hip open. We worked on this for the hips earlier as well. And this also works with the lower back and upper back. A great pose for many things. Inhale, arms coming up. I believe we did this last week. Exhale through your warrior two, coming to your side bend. Inhale, arm along the ear. Exhale, hand up. If you like, you can look down during that part, and I like to open my hip with my other hand. Inhale through your warrior two and coming up, and if you'd like, you can add that dancing warrior to get another side stretch. Exhale through your warrior two into your Parshvakonasana setup. Inhale, full pose, extending that top arm, keeping the shoulders aligned. Feel the stretch through the ribs, the lower back, the hip into the foot. Exhale, hand to the sky, looking front or down to the neck. Inhale, warrior two, and into your side stretch. Keep this going your own timing. I'll cue the breath again. Exhale, going down. Inhale, lengthening the top arm. Exhale, hand to the sky, maybe looking down. Inhale, coming through your warrior two up to a straight leg and dancing warrior. It's usually called in the West. And one more time. We're getting into that QL area, that quadratus lumborum area. Feet parallel. Release the hand, take a break. Let the breath settle. Heart rate slow down. Come to an even inhale, exhale, and then set up for the next side. So around heel to heel alignment, heel to arch alignment. starting by finding your warrior two position, foundation of the pose. So bending that front knee, back leg is straight, and that little toe side of the foot is down. It tends to come up, so try to rotate it down. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. I'm just starting with my shoulders forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend the knee. Warrior two, you can look along the middle finger if you like. We'll just add this piece this time. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend, and we're going to go into our side angle preparation. Inhale, arm along the ear, lengthen through the side body. Exhale, hand to the sky, and maybe open that hip with the other hand. Maybe look down to work the neck and shoulders. Inhale through your warrior two to a straight leg, and stretch the other side, dancing warrior. Warrior two, side angle. Inhale, extend that side angle. Feel it through the hip and the lower back. Exhale, hand to the sky, look down. Maybe bring that top hand back. Inhale through your warrior two. And full side stretch. Keep this going your own timing if you like, or do it with me. Around 6 rounds. Just cue one more round. Inhale, arms up. Exhale through your warrior two to your side angle preparation. Extend that side angle, arm along your ear. Exhale, hand to the sky, look down. Inhale, coming up, straight legs. Inhale, arms center. Exhale, feet parallel. Release the hands. Bring your feet to samastiti to release the feet a bit. That's quite a bit of work for the ankles as well and the groin. Notice how you feel. You probably feel a little taller. Before we do our counter, if you ever need a counter between these, just take a break, do a forward bend in any of the ways we've been doing in class. We're going to rotate this now. This is good fun. So going to your easy side, setting up the feet in that warrior two position on the opposite side that we just did. Now, we're going to start this really simply and then maybe step it up a little bit. So inhale, bringing your arms up. Exhale, bending to that warrior two position. And then you're going to rotate to the side. And inhale, coming up. So for you, it looks like I'm rotating towards my left, my right hand coming to the outside of my thigh. Seeing if I can align my shoulders a little bit. And then as you do this, you might be able to go further down. You can also do this with a chair or a table here. It's really a nice variation. This one's from Chennai. My teachers did this one quite a bit. Parshva Konasana Parvati. It's a twisted version of what we just did. There's more to it, but it gets a little crazy. The classical version of this one. I will not be doing that. Just keep going a little further if you like. A little further down the leg. You are bending that front knee as you come down. Just remember that piece. to get the shoulders aligned on that rotation. And we're going to go to the other side through the center. Exhale, take a break. So doing that around 6 times on that side, and then the next side. Inhale, arms center. Exhale, rotating around. Starting very simply, the upper back quite high. Doing that crossover. So crossing the bilateral line. Plexus callosum. Connecting the 2 hemispheres of the brain. When we do this bilateral stimulation, it's supposed to be very calming for the nervous system. Gradually going lower, and you'll start to feel it maybe more into your lower back. And notice which side is easier. Probably the same as when we did that last twist. This is definitely my easier side. It's like, wow, I can rotate so much more this way. For those of you with scoliosis, that will be a lifelong thing that you can change a little bit, but you will have your limitations. And just finishing up. Exhale, feet center, release. We're just going to do a forward bend from here. Inhale, arms coming up. Feet are nice and wide. Prasarita Pada Uttanasana. Exhale, going through your center, rounding the spine as we worked on earlier, bending the knees, coming down, maybe straightening the legs at the bottom a little bit or a lot. Inhale, arms at the side, extending the back, hinging from the hips as you come up. Exhale, bending from the waist, drawing the belly in and coming forward. Inhale, coming up. Keep this going. And then staying in your forward bend, we're going to do those movements we did earlier in Uttanasana. So we'll start with one actually a little bit different. Hands way in front of you. We're just going to work with the upper back for a minute. Inhale, lifting the head, looking up. Exhale, forward bend, bending knees as needed to stretch the lower back. So bending the knees, you'll get that traction in the lower back. Inhale, looking up. It's sort of like an up dog. And exhale, bend the knees and sit back with your weight onto your heels and stretch the lower back and the groin, the hips. Okay, now we're going to take it up a notch. So bring the hands so that they're a little bit in front of you or more towards your feet. Exhale, bend the knees, release forward. Inhale, Sthiti. You're going to look up. You can come onto your fingertips. You could have blocks under your hands as you're doing this to make it a little easier, or hands on the seat of the chair. Just feel the difference. You can also have your hands flat down. That works for your body. Now you can keep that going. If you want to add some strength, Like we did earlier, inhale, arms at the sides, palms facing down like wings. Exhale, fold at the elbows, bend the knees, and release neck and shoulders. Inhale, extend the spine long. This is strength. And exhale, flexibility, coming forward. You want to take it up a notch still. Arms in line with the ears, coming halfway up. Exhale, bend. Be careful. This might be too much work on your knees. Listen to your body. This is quite a lot. And stay forward. And hold the big toes with your first two fingers if you like. You can hold the hands on the heels or the calves. You can have your hands forward like we did earlier and lengthen the spine. Bend the knees as needed to stretch your lower back. So I tend to bend as I exhale and inhale, lengthen. Play with that. Prasarita Pada Uttanasana. Spread footed forward bend. And when you're ready, you're going to start coming onto your back. I'm going to come up for a minute to adjust the screen. Set up on your back. We've reached that time of the class. Your lower back should be feeling quite different now. I've been working you guys hard. Hopefully my computer will last through the heat of today. It's a hot one. So far, so good. Okay. So I'm going to try to get in the shade a little bit. Probably won't manage today. It's a hot one here. Okay, so make sure you've got your minimal props available to you. So you've got a belt, pillow, blanket. Just checking you guys can see me okay. Yes. So lie down, rest for a minute. Just gonna move back a little bit more. Just rest. And just do some belly breathing. You can have your hands on your belly. Inhale, expand the belly. Exhale, contract the belly. And we're going to keep moving with our side bends and rotated twists. That's our theme today. About doing it supine. You might be quite hungry after class. Revving our Agni, it's called, the fire in our belly. If you like, you can create a little diamond shape around your belly button, that navi point. Yogis say we have 72,000 channels of energy called nadis, little rivers, all emanating out of this spot throughout the entire body. So maybe they were seeing the nervous system, how it works. Maybe they were seeing something beyond the body-mind. We're not sure. And as you inhale, you might feel that fire expanding at the belly, a little campfire in the gut. And exhale, you might feel that the fire is burning toxins in your gut and moving them out and down. Inhale, expanding the fire, burning, and exhale, moving the toxins that it's burned like ashes out of the system. Let's do a hold after inhale. Inhale, expand the belly. Hold after inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, draw the belly button in, the lower belly in, the pelvic floor in, and draw the toxins down and out. Inhale, expand the belly. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Burning the toxins. Exhale, draw them out. Belly button in, lower belly, pelvic floor, and push them out. One more time, inhale. As you inhale this time, feel your lower back moving away from the floor. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, draw everything in and feel the lower back move to the floor, flattening to the floor. And release. Bring the knees to the chest just to release the lower back. As you exhale, bring the knees into the chest. And inhale, knees away from the chest. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Draw everything in and up. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, knees away from the chest. Inhale, upper back, middle back, lower back, belly expands. Exhale, pelvic floor contracts. Lower belly, belly button in. Draw the stomach in and up. Hold after exhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Expand your chest. Expand your upper back, your lower back, your whole belly. One more time. Exhale. Pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Chest falls. Draw everything in and up. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Rest. I'm going to rotate now the hips around this point. Very simply, rotation's a challenge for you. Just start with your feet either together if you want more stability for your back, if you've got a lower back problem, or your feet wide. You can also put a block between the thighs if that feels better. Inhale here. Exhale, bringing your knees to one side. And inhale, center. Exhale, windshield wipering to the other side. Start by feeling this probably in the thighs and the hips. We're going to take it higher soon. We're starting off easy, like we did standing. So in the standing twists, you're keeping the lower body stable and you're twisting the upper body more. Eventually we do go into lower back, of course. And here we're doing the opposite. We're starting by keeping the upper back completely stable and twisting just from the waist down. And eventually we bring that a little higher. If you want to take this up a notch, bring your knees into your chest like we did earlier, and see if you can bring your knees down to the side. You might need a block or a bolster or a pillow on each side as a landing pad, or just don't bring your knees down. Just twist them a little bit, but don't bring them down. So that's another option, or you can have a block as a landing pad. Inhale, center, exhale, side. And you'll notice that you start to, as you bring it higher, you are starting to feel it a bit more into the upper back as well. So notice we're working in the opposite direction as we did standing. We're starting from twisting from way down the legs and hips, going towards the lower back and then towards even the upper back. So if you want to make this a little bit more challenging, or you might actually find it easier, just getting into the shade a bit here, hot day, you move to one side, so get into your twist, and then as you exhale, bring your legs to the center and all the way to the other side, and then you're going to stay a breath in the twist. So inhale here, and you exhale, go through the center all the way to the other side. So as you do this, I want you to focus on contracting the pelvic floor all the way to the belly button. So you do this twist, inhale, stay in the twist, start to exhale, pelvic floor, then move through the center, draw the lower belly in, and as you twist to the other side, the belly button is drawing in, and you are stretching your lower back. Inhale, stay here. Start to exhale first by contracting the pelvic floor, then start to de-rotate to the center, lower belly, and as you rotate to the other side, draw the belly button in and up, and then draw the whole stomach in and up, Uddiyana Bandha. You can hold that lock as you inhale into the chest, and then the belly, release the lock, exhale, pelvic floor, start to de-rotate, lower belly, rotating to the other side, belly button in and up, stomach in and up. Start to inhale into the chest and release the belly, inhale into the belly. Then start to de-rotate, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, stomach in and up. Hold, inhale. Keep this going in your own timing. Exhaling, twisting, inhaling, staying. Next time we're going to stay on one side, but before we do that, bring your feet down in the center. We're going to just align the back a little bit more because we're going to stay in the pose now. So we're going to work with alignment a bit more. So we're going to bring the hips towards your left, and then twist your knees over to the right. You might need a pillow under your head or a blanket. Create more comfort for the neck. So you're in fetal position on your right side, your right shoulder is down. You've got a pillow or blanket probably under your right ear. And then you're going to open up the chest. You're going to adjust that pillow as needed. And hopefully your hips are aligned with the center of your body. So there should be a line from your hips up through to the heart and the head. Now, if this is not accessible, you can put a bolster underneath your legs here, or a block between the thighs. Or if you don't have those things, just take a big pillow and put it underneath your right knee and shin. You will probably feel quite a big shoulder stretch. So my friends with the shoulder issues are doing some stretching now. That shoulder. But we're going to focus on the belly button area. And we're going to focus on the lower back. Now, modification, if you want to make this a little harder, this is Jatra Parvati. This is twisting the Jatra Agni, the fire at the belly, Parvati, twisting it, rotating it. So if you like, you can extend that top leg. Now you could hold it with your hand or hold it with a belt. So, my belt. Just going to show that. So you create a little loop in the belt. Walter, I'm going to give you this belt. Okay. So you can hold with the belt or with the hand. You can also, if you don't have the belt, you can use a scarf, or you can just hold the calf or even the thigh, or keep the leg bent. Try to work on that alignment, the hip lined up with the heart. And if you have tightness in your mid back, which I know a couple of you do, you will love this pose as well. It definitely works the upper back as well as the lower back. So it's like the full rotated standing twist. You're actually working both parts of the spine. So extending the top leg, if that feels good, you can also extend the lower leg and hold the toes with your belt or with your hands. The version I really like is I like crossing the top ankle under the lower and holding the bottom foot, and that stretches into the IT band and into probably the QL a bit and the TFL, that whole area. Now, can you breathe here? So picking any version, your knees can be bent, stacked on top of each other. Have a bolster underneath your legs to create some height. You can have a blanket, pillow under that open left shoulder. You can have a pillow under your head or not. Keep drawing the belly in and up as you exhale. Move the toxins out of the body. So a lot of Krishnamacharya's earlier work, he always had twists at the end of his practices to move the toxins out after heating them up. We're going to move to the other side. So just untwisting, come to the center. Find your alignment. So this is your sama sthiti of lying down. Just finding that alignment pose, as they say in Iyengar yoga. Bring your hips, shift them to the right. And then come to fetal position with your left shoulder down. I'm going to use a pillow under my head for comfort. Or you can use a blanket. Align your shoulders, align your knees, align your hips. And then from that place, open up your shoulders. You might use that pillow under your head or not. You can have your hand on top of that top thigh and start feeling this into your lower back. Stretching quadratus lumborum, whole area, side, right hip into your lower back. Probably feeling your shoulders, finding that line from your hip to your heart to the top of your head. And then maybe extend your top leg. You can hold it with a belt, or you can hold your toes. See what works for you today. Again, you can have a block or a pillow between your legs or a pillow underneath your legs to create more height. You can have a cushion or a blanket under that right shoulder. You can play with extending both legs. It's the full pose. And a version I particularly like is crossing that top foot under the bottom and holding the foot with a belt or with your hands. And feel the stretch through the IT band, TFL, the QL, that whole area. It's very tight as a gripper for the lower back. It can indicate weakness in the core. We're going to work with more core strength next week and moving into back arches more. We started more with rotation and lateral bends. Just breathing here. Drawing the belly in and up as you exhale. You feel like you've had enough. You're going to uncross your legs or undo the bind if you've got one, and belt, whatever. Just gradually walk your feet back to the center very slowly. Out of that deep twist, just can, if you're not used to that, that's the time you might have a back spasm. So you want to just come out of it very, very slowly without weight, without using the muscles, just let them rest. To relax the lower back, this feels good, feet wide and angle the knees in to create space between the SI joints, or just the knees aligned over ankles. Do a counter pose. Bring the knees to the chest. Option 1. Option 2, add the head to the knees. Asana-s. And then release the head down. Or if you like, happy baby might be a better option for you, holding, bring the thighs to compress the spine. Holding the calves, holding the little toe side of the foot. Just pick your medicine. Which position today is going to decompress your back the most? And for Shavasana today, I invite you to put your legs up a wall. I hope you can see this. So I'm using my image here. And you could have a belt tied to your ankles or your thighs so you can relax a bit more. Just rest your lower back in this position with your legs up the wall. Or you can just do regular Shavasana. Let your lower back rest. You could put a cushion, bolster underneath the lower back if you like as well. And I'm just going to leave you here through the end of the class, and I'm going to do some closing chanting for you this morning. Here for about 5 minutes to close. Just finding long exhale. If you like, placing the hands on that knobby belly button in that diamond shape. You can focus on long exhale if you like. Do that ha breath if you like. Removing all the toxins out of the system through the breath now. Focusing on the toxins going up and out. And adding Brahmari, this is said also to be good for stimulating digestion, this humming sound. Feel the vibration through the whole body. Adding home if you like. Shanti, if you like, means peace. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Two more times, inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Turn that he, drawing the belly in and up. Inhale, last time. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. He. Hari Om. Place your hands at your heart if you like as you do this. Hari Om. Inhale. Hari Om. Again. Hari Om. Namaste. Namaskaram. Bowing to that in you, which is the same as that in me, same as that in all that pervading consciousness